one thought we'd make it this far, but we showed the world who we are and what we're made of. That we're more than a movie.
This is Dabu7, a heads up here for folks that are traveling, that may be going to and from the UK or across Europe here. We have all kinds of restrictions going into place. If you don't know, there's been this new announcement that they have found this new strain out of the UK, this highly infectious COVID-19 strain, which I guarantee you moving into 2021, as these things start to pick up, the COVID-19 will shift to COVID like 21 and beyond. And what we're seeing right now is everything we expected right on cue. We knew from their game plan that come the winter, they were going to try to lock everything back down again. They openly had even stated these things. Here we are, and that's exactly what's happening. And in the UK, as this announcement was put out there, people were leaving en masse. They were trying to flee the city, trying to get out of the UK last night before midnight on Saturday in droves, tens of thousands of people. It only has 16 million people there in the region, and all these people were trying to go. Okay, Belgium, Italy are now following the lead of the Netherlands, and they're closing their borders to all travelers to and from the UK due to this.
All right, Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, preaching this word in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Tazabah in the Great Millstone, Arizona camp, Lord will, with another video to edify. And that you can see, Esau, the so-called white man, is going forth with his plan, coming out with new strains of this Crown Royal 119 pandemic. He's coming out with new strains, and when you go to that movie Songbird, it told you in there they went all the way up to C-vid 23. You know, so this stuff is coming to a head. The Lord's legit breaking this place down, and when these extra lockdowns come about, it's gonna kill all these nations' economy. I got a few more articles, and then I'm gonna grab a few scriptures and close it out. This ain't gonna be super long. It's gonna be more information. So it says Saudi Arabia shuts down international air, they spelled that wrong, sea and land travel over new fast spreading Crown Royal 19 strain. It says Riyadh has sealed its borders for all passenger travel for at least a 2 weeks, suspending international flights as well as entry to sea and land ports over a mutant CV19 variant that was first discovered in the UK. With growing number of European countries locking out travel from the UK, Saudi Arabia has pulled all the stops in its effort to curb the spread of the new strain of the Crown Royal virus. This is imposing a sweeping ban on commercial travel. Saudi press agency reported on Sunday, citing a official source with the country's interior ministry. See, so this stuff is getting real serious, man. So it's getting serious, man. Everything's starting to close back up again. Everything is about to shut down all over again, and it's only going to make the food crisis worse. And I'm going to get into that. So this is another one. It says, are we the baddies? Brits not amused as Iran and France join EU states in locking out travel from UK over mutant Ovid strain. It says Dublin and Paris have imposed restrictions on travel from Britain for at least 48 hours. And it comes as a slew of European countries mull travel bans over the new Crown Royal 19 strain, the UK government has warned Brits about. The Irish government says the measures banning private travel between the UK and Ireland will take effect on Sunday night and initially stay in place for at least 2 days. Cargo planes and freight vessels, as well as some essential supply chain workers, will still be allowed to cross the border. General travel between here and Britain is going to be restricted. We will review it on Tuesday morning, Transport Ministry Eamon Ryan told Virgin Media News. So it's happening to where all these countries are shutting stuff down, man. It's happening where all the countries are shutting stuff down, and this is all going in a prophecy. The Lord told you these things were going to happen, and now here it is. It's happening, you know. And I'm gonna keep this up because oh, let me get this too. We brought this out at camp yesterday. This is from 4 months ago. You know, going into these vaccines and how more and more people there's more and more reports of people dying. The woman that passed out after she had gotten it, there's reports now that she might be dead. It says bubble indemnity, and this is back in July. Bubble indemnity. Big pharma firms will not be held accountable for side effects of a Crown Royal vaccine. You see, so they put it into all these governments' ears that, hey, we gonna make this. Y'all need to put some laws in place that no matter what happens, we ain't gonna get held responsible. You know, if nobody's held responsible, what's the standard? You know, there's a reason for this, but you have men in Israel that telling you to take this stuff. But now here it is, we're at the precipice where you're gonna start seeing more and more countries. So I just slowing down and more people trying to flee back to their own countries. This is Habakkuk 2. And I'll go to 2. It says, and Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. And the vision is going into the prophecy. So we're commanded to make this plain. Remember, the Lord spoke to the people in parables. So what? The prophet, when you go into let me see if I can get this. Salakia. I gotta get this for you. This is well, I gotta get this. I gotta get the scripture, Salakia. This is Proverbs. We'll go back to this Habakkuk. This is Proverbs 25. I'm going in the same point where I just said, you know, the Lord set up prophets to sit here and make these things plain. So this is Proverbs 25 and 2. It says, it is the glory of the Most High to conceal a thing. So it's the glory of the Lord to hide something, you know, or to make it hard to find. But the honor of kings is to search out a matter. So we have the honor to actually search out those things that the Lord hid from masses, man, hid from the masses. So here it is. Now we're in these times, and we're seeing that everything the Lord set up is happening. So what? We're making it plain for the people. This is Habakkuk 2 and 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." And this is what we're in now. The vision speaking. The Lord said these things will happen. You know, when you go in the book of Isaiah, the 13th chapter, Isaiah 13, and I'll start at 13. "Therefore, I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, and in the wrath of Yahweh of hosts, in the day of his first anger." And this is getting ready to happen, man. These countries are getting their weapons ready. This is how it's going to happen. The Lord said he's a man of war. So what? He's going to construct the people to cause war to come on the land. Verse 14, "And it shall be," it says, "and it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one to his own land." And this is happening in these shutdowns, man, because Dabu already brought it out that during this stuff, when they heard these new restrictions and this new strand of this Crown Royal 19 virus, people started trying to get out there of that country, right? Why? Because they're trying to go, and they didn't just buy a random ticket to just go wherever, man. They bought a ticket back to their own personal home where they had supports. So this is happening right now, man. Everybody's fleeing to his own people, man. And in the UK is just like America, man. It's a melting pot. There's people from everywhere. Why do you think the Saudi Arabia had to put travel restrictions on them as well? Because there's a lot of people from Saudi Arabia in the UK. You know, the Lord is shutting stuff down. This is Second Ezra 15 and I'll start at 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another." And sedition is a violent uprising against authority. You know, you have these this new bill in Paris where they're sitting there trying to make it illegal for you to film police officers. And if you do film them, and you're prosecuted for it, you can end up getting a full year in jail. And up till, I forgot what the fine total is. But, you know, that's pretty serious, you know. So people are rioting in the streets for this because they see what these cops are doing, man. It says, "They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power." So a lot of people are going to start taking things into their own hands. And this is going to be in America too, man. A lot of people, it's going to be street justice. There's going to be no calling the police. You know, you women that are proud and lifted up, there's not going to be any that, he did this to me, they did that to me. And you have the support of the whole Edomite police force. No, it's going to be whether or not the Lord is with you or not. Because a lot of people are going to start, you know, as the old saying goes, heads will be rolling. You know, basically meaning a lot of people are going to die. There's going to be strict judgment out. As the scriptures say, the Lord has given straight commandment what man should do to live. You know, what are the commandments? The law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. So the Lord made these and wrote these commandments down and gave them to Israel. So you would know what to do, so you wouldn't have to be judged. But a lot of our people, you know, choose otherwise and go against those commandments, man. This is verse 17. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." You see? So a lot of people are starting to desire going into cities and they're not going to be able. And what was the main thing that helped slow restrictions of these cities? The fact that there was going to be a vaccine coming out, right? So now, just as soon as this new vaccine comes out, There's all this concern over it. Now this second lockdown is on the way, and there's a whole new strand out there. Allegedly a whole new strand, because we don't know, man. This strand could be real, could not be real, but it fits in the prophecy because the Lord said He's going to be plagues upon Egypt, and Egypt had a bunch of plagues. It wasn't just one. They were dying in mass numbers from multiple things. So it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. What is that going to? Martial law, cities being locked down, not travel restrictions. That's all that is. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Don't you think this is bringing some type of fears? Because already in the UK, right, they have the no Brexit, right, which is basically a trade agreement between all those European nations to be able to do business between one another. And what's been happening recently with that whole thing is, since that deal is gone, you have the UK sitting there denying Ireland fishing rights into the waters, which they've been doing fishing in those waters for a long time. It's causing trucks to be held up at ports where they're getting the goods. So it's making the goods get to the store way later. To a certain point where these truck drivers are going to be like, I can't make any money because I'm sitting here for 4 days, 5 days just to get one shipment to go through. What do you think that's going to do? They're not going to keep up with that. That's losing too much money per day. So that's going to drive? That's going to drive a food shortage into several different places, man. Doesn't the scripture say there should be famines in diverse places? Let me get that. Matthew's the 24th chapter. Matthew's 24 and 6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So when we're hearing of wars and rumors of wars, the end's not yet. You had the U.S. at the beginning of January of 2020 assassinate a top Iranian general, which is the equivalent of somebody from one of these other nations assassinating the vice president, which that's stoked fears of wars. Here in November, you had another assassination of a top Iranian nuclear scientist, which is big because everybody's looking at Iran because they're boasting their nuclear capabilities. So you're basically trying to shut off somebody's defense. It's another act of war. Not only that, you have the Crimea. You had the war between the war in Azerbaijan this year as well. You have the conflicts in the South China Sea with the U.S. This stuff is getting real. Now you have a whole new Cold War between the U.S. and Russia, because now the U.S. is trying to make hypersonic missiles, and Russia already has hypersonic missiles. They have a missile that goes. They have a brand new missile system that goes 8 times the speed of sound. So this is the time we're in. So if a missile's going 8 times the speed of sound, that means by the time it hits, you still won't hear it. You won't even know that it was on its way, because the sonic boom behind it might not even catch up before it hits you. Matthew 24 and 7 says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So this is just a little news update, a few precepts. And Lord willing, this is edifying. The prophecies are moving. To the elect out there, man, keep pushing, keep believing. Pray for one another. Pray for those brothers that believe, man. Shalom.